Welcome to the Explainer. So, today we're going to unpack a song well, it's less of a song and more like a map. It's this really radical guide to the nature of reality called The Vision and the Crossing. And it basically argues that the world we think we're living in, it's not what it seems at all. And the whole thing kicks off with our very own senses.
The song opens with this really powerful idea. It says our senses, the tools we use to experience everything, they're not neutral, not at all. They're actually a legacy, the direct result of our past actions, or what we call karma. So what does that actually mean? It means what you see, what you hear, what you feel right now, it's all being shaped by a past you probably don't even remember.
Now, this isn't just some abstract philosophy, It's meant to be a practical map. The song lays out a whole journey of perception, guiding us from what it calls a world of illusion all the way to a state of really profound clarity. So let's follow this path. Let's see how the song claims we actually build and then maybe dismantle our own reality.
Okay, so first up, we've got to get our heads around this fundamental link, the connection between our senses and what the song calls the karmic cycle. It's basically a system, right? The past creates the present, and our actions in the present create the future. But how does that system actually work?
Well, the song wants us to imagine it like a factory. Yeah, a factory that's just constantly running, 24/7. It's taking in all these raw materials from the world, and it's just churning out our experiences, our future, and even our very sense of self. So let's take a closer look at the assembly line it describes.
Okay, here's that assembly line in action. So step one, we've got our senses, which, remember, are a product of the past. Step two, those senses make contact with the world. You see something, you hear a sound. But it's step three that's the really crucial part. The song argues it's the mind's reaction to that contact that creates new karma. Think about that. It isn't the world itself, but our reaction to it that literally builds our future.
Okay, but if our reality is built on our reactions to things, that brings up a really important question, right? What are we actually reacting to? The song's answer to this is probably its most radical claim. And man, it challenges the very foundation of how we see the world. I mean, the directness here is just stunning. The song flat out says that the enlightened ones, the Buddhas, never, and I mean never, spoke of a world made of solid, persisting beings or things. This just completely pulls the rug out from under our normal way of seeing reality. So this really lays out the core contrast. Our normal, everyday view sees a world of nouns, right? A tree, a person, a feeling, solid things. But the song proposes a world of verbs, a constant flickering process of causes creating effects, effects that vanish the very instant they arise. So in this view, there is no solid thing there. There's only a process happening.
So this leads to a pretty fascinating puzzle, right? If the world isn't actually made of solid objects and beings, then what is our mind reacting to? What is this thing that we're getting attached to or trying to push away that's creating all this karma in the first place?
And this is where the song gives us a practical answer. It kind of pivots from pure philosophy to something more like a training manual. It introduces the role of ethics, or what it calls precepts, as the actual tool for this work. The song totally reframes this idea of precepts, or sila. It says, hey, don't think of these as just a moral code. Think of them more like a kind of technology for your mind. Their real purpose is to create this tiny but crucial bit of space right between a sensory event and our usual habitual knee-jerk reaction. They're designed to be a shield. So the song mentions different levels of these precepts, and it frames them as this kind of progressive training. But they all have one single goal: to shield the consciousness. The whole practice is designed to intentionally jam the gears of that automatic karma factory we talked about earlier. And when you do that, you can finally see the raw process of cause and effect for what it really is.
Okay, so what happens when this training actually works? When the mind is shielded and you can finally see the world clearly? Well, according to the song, this is the moment where the entire system we've built our whole lives on just starts to unravel.
The song identifies the one single root cause for this whole endless cycle of suffering. a thing called avidya, or ignorance. But we're not talking about ignorance of facts, like not knowing a capital city. This is a fundamental misperception of reality itself. It's that core belief in solid things and a permanent self where there aren't any. So when that core misunderstanding is finally seen for what it is, boom, a chain reaction just ignites. The whole structure that we mistake for reality starts to shudder and fall apart. And as it all comes crashing down, the very realms of our existence, from the physical world of the senses to the highest, most subtle mental states, they just disappear. They're revealed as nothing more than projections from that one original error.
And here's the part that really blows your mind. With this new clear seeing, the song claims that the entire construct of time itself just dissolves. Past, present, future, all revealed as illusions born from that exact same fundamental mistake.
Which brings us to the song's ultimate conclusion. I mean, if everything has dissolved, the world, the self, even time itself, what could possibly be left? Well, this is the vision of the final crossing. The final realization is this: liberation, or nirvana, isn't something you build or something you achieve. It's just what's left over when that frantic, karma-creating engine we talked about finally stops. It's a cessation. The search is over. Not because you found something, but because you realized there was never anything to find in the first place. Only a process you had to stop doing.
And that's really the final provocative question the song leaves us with. It just turns our whole idea of achievement completely on its head. What if liberation isn't some destination we have to struggle to reach? What if it's just the simple reality that's already here waiting for us, once all the struggling, all the seeking, and all the creating finally comes to an end?